I'm figuring this all out. Someone's here. Say hello. What are you guys doing today? Picture's not great. I'm doing this from my laptop. Cindy! Oh, here, maybe that's better. Hi! Hi, Kim. Jeannie, hello from South Carolina. Hello. Let me know where you guys are from. How you guys doing? So I think that you guys will be, tell me, are you all subscribed to my vlog channel? Waco, Texas. Oh, you're by the wonderful Gaines family. Oregon. Okay, so you're West Coast like me, Kim. Hi, guys. So, what times we live in, eh? I have you guys sat here on my dog Poco's toy bin. Just turned it upside down. Yes. So see, hello, Lala. Hi, Jeannie. Thank you. Diane from Florida. Okay, where in Florida? You and Linda are both in Florida. So today we had our first day of distance learning. Lakeland. Okay. I'm not familiar with Lakeland. I lived outside of Lake City in Suwannee County, but I'm not sure if Lakeland's south or north. So I hope you guys are doing well. I just thought I'd pop on and chat for a few minutes. I guess I have to get used to looking. Oh, there's my camera. I'm used to looking up here for my phone and my camera. So I'll have to keep that in mind. I've never done this on my laptop or from this channel. So 40 minutes from Tampa. Oh, okay. So what's everybody doing? We are doing well. We put ourselves sort of into our own little quarantine of sorts before it sort of got handed down statewide just because of my immune system and stuff. Hi, Jennifer. So we've been here for over 2 weeks already in our house, but we have quite a advantage, I think. We are all homebodies. I think if I could do anything, it would just be allow my daughter to hug her bestest friends. I think she just needs that, but hubby's working from home. We're all here. You are homeschooling your grandchild. How's that going? So for us, I just think of those moms of littles that are trying to keep little bodies busy. That is not easy. Hi, Carolyn. We are fortunate enough to have older kids who, for the most part, are completely independent with their learning. I know that our high schoolers were both online this morning, and it's great because it kind of cuts down on not homeschooling, on homework. So our district has said there's not going to be homework, so you don't have to worry about that. And I got on with our middle schooler, and yes, Google Classrooms, very much, Lala. They have all set up their Google Classrooms, and they've just been online. I did go over and look, I just wanted to see what my middle schooler had. And obviously they can't have band, but they did give them a piece of music to work on. And then PE is, not doing anything. Crafting. Okay, so Cindy says crafting and organizing, My daughter is homeschooling, but I'm afraid she's going to go crazy. Well, as long as you can get out and get out for those daily walks. My daughter asked, "Hey, Mom, you want to go for a walk in a little while?" And I said, "Yeah." So we'll go. I agree, Lala. Some of the memes about suddenly homeschooling are hilarious. We went walking last night, my husband and myself and our son, our youngest, and we were laughing. We know quite a few teachers in our area, just good friends, and we were saying they probably got the best end of this. They can still work, but they don't have to deal with the kids. And God bless them. I think all of us should have like greater appreciation after this for our teachers. And I said, and half of them have an entire cupboard full of hand sanitizer from the beginning of the year. So they should be set up pretty well. So Carolyn says, both my daughters are teachers now on spring break, but doing online school. So our school district, I think, was a little afraid of calling it. So I called it for our family. And apparently it was a ghost town, so I wasn't the only one who called it for our family. And then once the decision was made for school to not resume, which was the next day at noon, it was silly for them to hold back when, I think they just didn't want to be the first, although all of our communities surround us were doing it. The official email that they put out was that our spring break had been moved. So our spring break was supposed to be April sometime, first or second week. And then so that they had time to figure this out, they just moved that week, that first initial week, to our spring break. And so today they started. Yeah, I have to be. I mean, I am on a medication for my MS and it wipes out all my B cells. So I think, okay, so first of all, I'm a nurse, right? So I know way too much. And not all nurses are like this. I do have a friend who is the head trauma nurse locally, and she's more like, play it by ear, But I have always been super cautious. Even if I go to a family member's house or a house where I don't feel like it's been cleaned, I will use the edge of my shirt to open doors. I mean, I've just always been like this. So, to me, it was nothing to be like, my kids never miss school unless they're sick. I mean, and they haven't been very sick. So we've been very fortunate. So you have a friend with MS. Yeah. So you understand. Lala says, I think that once the states and governments order the shelter in place, that is when the schools are ordered to. So I think that's what it took here, Lala. It was interesting because knowing our local government and our local officials who are invested in their reelection were tiptoeing around the situation, and they didn't want to be the first to call it. So we're like right here, and this district called it, and this district called it, and it's like, so I think that's what they wanted. I think they wanted the coverage of saying, not having any finger pointing on them, to be able to say, we called it too soon or whatever. I think that they wanted that shelter in place. But my last trip out and about, I actually went to go see Davita Lane. I'm sure all of you know her. She's a sweetheart. She has a channel. She does a lot of DIYs. And I wanted to give her a box of the stuff from my big Michael's grab boxes. So I had a box for her crafts. And Bella, who's also a YouTube channel, Bella D Designs, I think, asked me to give her a hug for her. So I went and saw David. I picked up groceries that I ordered online, did not enter the store. I have a funny story about that we'll come back to in a second. And I went and gave Davida the box. I knew she was working, and then gave her a hug for Bella, filled up my car with gas. And the only time we have gotten in the car is twice, once to just drive around and see what it's like. And then this weekend, my husband and I had another grocery pickup. So I rode with him, but he did everything. So I've been home. Let me catch up here. My 21-year-old son has MS, and just heard from his job that a coworker has. Oh no, Kimberly. Oh, yes, I will. Yeah, I had a little bit of a flare last night, I think. And all of a sudden, I was going great. I've been trying to do some of my spring and Easter decorating. I just finished the bedroom, and I made spaghetti for dinner and a salad, and we sat down, and I just knew I couldn't anymore. So I had to go to bed. And I mean, I didn't go to sleep. I should have, but I understand, because yeah, we're higher at risk. Kimberly, is he on any kind of medication that puts him at higher risk for his immune system? Love Davida. Davita's a sweetheart. Cindy says, I am immune compromised also, so we are being careful. Good. We have a shelter at home in place for several days now, and school's been out for 3 weeks, spring break. Yes. My husband is a school bus driver. Oh, wow. So, Diane, so they're resuming April 15th. Interesting. Oh, yes, you were on last night. Yes.
What's up, my quarantine friends? It's your girl, Cara Maria with Armor Up Fitness, where we turn your
What in the world?
into wearable armor. For today's workout, I know we're all stuck at home, but hopefully you have access to a coach
First of all,
chair or some device.
I don't work out.
This workout so fucking tired. So hopefully after
And my phone just started, and it's a workout. Oh, that was funny. Okay. So it's interesting because, yeah, the shelter in place when the schools are ordered. Yes. So our school has prepared for the kids to not return. I mean, they're not even saying possibly fall, because we are in California in a hot spot. So yeah, they had the kids at the high school clean out there. I keep looking here. Sorry, guys. That's where the chat is. Maybe I should pull the chat up over here. Oh, now I see. This is why I'm doing this over here, where it can just be us little intimate people, and not like, I don't want to get a big crowd. And it scares me, guys. Going live scares me. The kids were like, can we make sound? Because they're used to me recording videos. I was like, sure, go ahead. All right, so I think this might be better. Yeah, Carolyn, it might be stress. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't feel stressed. Things like this, I'm oddly, work out with Auntie Cuckoo. That would be great. No, I don't have Snapchat. I don't do Snapchat at all. I don't let my kids have it either. What was I saying? So when things like this happen and things feel very out of control, I feel most in control. It takes me back to my first week on the floor independently as a nurse. I had finished my preceptor, and I was on my own. And I was making my morning rounds, and I went in, and we had a patient who wasn't breathing. And so I called the code, And, I was working with a nurse who was a new grad also and had a higher degree than me, but she was a BSN, but she was older than me, and she was kind of flipping her lid and losing her mind, and our nursing supervisor walks by, and I'm pulling stuff out of the room so we can get the cart in, and they're on the bed doing compressions, and I said, "Good morning, Sue," and that's it. I mean, and she pulled me into her office that day after my shift, and she's like, "I just want you to know how impressed I was that you're young and new to this, and it didn't, you know, phase you." So things like this, you know, I told my family I feel more in control now that we're all here doing what we can. It'll be when they lift all those parameters and we go back out that I will feel very not in control. Very much so, Carolyn. It's funny. It's very odd. I don't think it's very normal. Now, there is an exception to this. Whenever it is my child, which is, we got 3 of them, I can function, but I'd much rather have my husband do it because then it's emotionally, it's my kid. So he's cool as a cucumber. He's the oldest of 8. He's seen so many injuries. Um, he's great, but yeah, when it's the kids, that's the one time that it. Now, if it's not my child, I can still function, but if it's my child, it's kind of a problem. So you were saying, sorry, going back, Kimberly, he's on Tech Federa. So I was on Tech Federa was that last year? I think it was end of 2018 going into 2019. And we didn't stay on it. So my old doctor wanted me to try Ocrevez, but that's an infusion and it comes with its own issues of being immune compromised because it kills all your B cells. That's how it functions. And I had always been on Copaxone for 9.5 years. I just wanted to get off the shots. So we tried the Tecfidera. I did have a flare while on Tecfidera, and I haven't had a flare. Like I'm talking, I have flares all the time. They're minor. I had a big flare requiring IV steroids this time last year over in April. And besides that, I'm really prone to bloody noses, and my dad had them. I remember growing up, he had really bad ones, and the Tecfidera added to it. So I could not stay on the Tecfidera at all. So I stopped that. I don't know. I don't really remember the way that it functions. I'll have to read up on that and see. Hopefully that's one that doesn't mess too much with his immunity, because that's the thing is, then it puts you into that category of being immune compromised. And I finally gave in and went back onto the Ocrevez. So Jeannie says, I'm a retired associate's degree nurse. So I was just 20 as a grad in charge of a 40-bed orthopedic unit. Oh, ortho. Ortho was one of my favorites in school. We in our surgery round, the power tools. That's all I'll say because I'm not very squeamish, but I know that there probably are people that are. But yeah, that was crazy. Has he, Kimberly? Oh, that's so interesting. So I had a really bad one last night too. My son gets them and my dad had them. So, I mean, it's something that I know is definitely a genetic factor, but my doctor said that could be related because it was kind of an every day, every other day issue on the Tecfidera. So May just want to mention that to him. I mean, the fact that it didn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for him, but Tecfidera did not work for me because I had my biggest flare in 10 years on it. Um, and there wasn't any, like major stresses or anything. So, yeah, that was not working for me, and it can hurt your liver too. So I had to be doing the blood work, which I'm sure he's aware of. So back to when I did the grocery pickup, I've had to be careful forever, right? But then with this, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, so I'm going to wear gloves. And so it was, this was just prior to our governor saying shelter in place. So I'd only ever done grocery pickup one or two other times, and it was last year following my hysterectomy. And I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be out walking around, especially I had all kinds of complications and an infection. And so I'm still kind of new to this, but I know I drive up and I park and then, I open my trunk and they put it in. So I've worked it all out in my mind. And I pull up, and this is a pretty big Walmart, and they had, I say, like 11 to 13 spots, and they're all full except one. So I pull into it, and I call, there's a number posted, and I call to let them know I'm there, but apparently that's not working. So this gentleman knocks on my window. Hi, sorry, our system isn't working. Can I take your name? So give him my name. Okay, I'll be right back with your order. And I had noticed the guy next to me was sitting in his car, and he just looked very anxious and nervous. And when the guy had tapped on his window, to get his name so they could process the order, whatever system with the phones wasn't working, he cracked it like this much at the top. So I could tell he was pretty freaked out. Probably has reasons to. And so I didn't even think about that. As soon as he said, I'm going to get your order, I had figured out in my mind, I would get out, I would open my own trunk. I had them pre-bag the items, and then I was going to take the bags wearing the gloves, set them in the car, then deglove, sanitize, go home, wash, re-glove, bring them into the garage, re-glove. Now we're clean gloves to go into the bags. I'm going through all of the nursing procedures in my head to get the items out. And then once everything was out, I was taking all of those bags outside into the trash and then coming in and showering because, all of those sterile fields from nursing kicked in. And so I looked over just as I was snapping a glove on. The poor guy saw me putting that glove on. Sterile field, Lala. Lala's also, Lilybug Lane is Lala. She's also a nurse. She's going live more recently now. So you guys, if you like live streams, if you want to just pop in and have chit chat, that's your girl right there. You should have seen the look on the poor guy's face. Oh my word. He looked petrified. Poor thing. I felt so bad because I wasn't nervous. I was just like, okay, I'll put my gloves on, I'll go open my trunk, and then I'll be ready to receive. And he just looked like it's the end of the world. And I felt kind of bad, but I did have a good chuckle about it. I noticed that week, so the week before last, when I was making my last, tonight at 10. Okay, so that's 7 Pacific Standard Time, you guys. So make sure that you subscribe to Lala, who is Lilybug Lane in the chat. If you like live streams, she's great at them. A Wednesday night. Okay, tomorrow. tomorrow. Wait, is today Monday? Today's Tuesday. It's going to get rough. We're not going to know which day of the week it is. I should know it's Tuesday. That is how we are doing it at my house too. I don't even have MS yet. It makes me and my hubby feel better. Yeah. So this will be interesting. Yes, in the garage, all the groceries, wearing gloves, speaking my language. Now, you know, in California, we're in a hot spot, and I'm learning new ways. Obviously, like I said, I hadn't done a whole lot of the grocery pickup, but um, we did another one this last weekend on Sunday. Just I just ordered like bread, bananas, lettuce, like a few fresh things, and I didn't even think we would get them because you can order it, but it doesn't mean you're going to get those items because if they're not on the shelves, then you don't get them. So we had the same procedure, except it was my husband. I was touching nothing. Valerie's love language is a blue sterile glove. Yes, it is a blue sterile. It is. You know me well. Um, and so for our pickup Sunday, he was in charge of doing it. I know Carolyn. Yeah, she's also in Southern California. So we're definitely, I forget which source this was from, but it was a news story saying that while the numbers are climbing very quickly in New York, they expect California to surpass them. And I was like, great, awesome. So Sunday, when we picked up groceries, same thing, but husband did it all. And I have a IKEA tower of the mesh drawers. And we had, I'm going to move this over for just a second. I think I am. See, I need to learn all this, guys, so that we can just chat like this because I like this. Probably stand another 15 minutes so that Ella and I can go walking. I guess I'm not going to move it. So the yes, our goal is just to stay well and do our best. My eyes keep going to your window. Looks like you have a beautiful breeze outside. We do. It is very rainy as of late, Jennifer. Normally we have sunshine, sunshine, sunshine. But it rained last night. Was it last night, Carolyn? Um, it just seems like every time I'm like, yes, I'm going to get out in the garden because I will need like 3 days to finish what I need to do out there with my succulents. I have so many and new pots and soil that it's going to take a while. Like we'll have tomorrow's Wednesday. I believe we're getting rain Wednesday, Thursday again. It is sunny. I would lift this up, but that will blind you. All the sun will come in. Um, um, so back to the grocery thing. We were happy. They had bread and they had things that we needed. The kids are so thrilled that they got apples and bananas. I think it's teaching this whole generation a whole lot, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But for other things, I placed my first Costco order, and that'll arrive tomorrow. Now, I placed it like Friday night, and for a few days, they were having no delivery dates at all. And I was finally able to get one, and it's through Instacart. So we'll have someone delivering that tomorrow. I'm very interested to see how this goes. I'll let you guys know because this is all new. Janet says, hubby and I want to work in the garden so badly. The pollen has been, yeah, South Carolina. Yeah, the rain is, and I mean, was it 3 weeks ago? I did get out there for a good chunk of time, and it was, I don't mind if it's sprinkling. It's just hard when the soil's wet. And last Friday or Saturday, my husband went and got some really good compost from a local business, and he's used to me, right? We've been married almost 20 years. I was like, "How are you gonna pay for it?" It's like, "Cash." And I was like, "Okay, so you're gonna hand them the exact change so they don't hand you anything back?" And I gave him his gloves and his instructions. And so what happens is it's in big, massive bags. And so he opened the trunk of his or the bed of his truck. They throw in all these bags of compost. And then with gloves, he closed it, paid them, came home, cleaned, and it's still in the trunk of his truck. I said, "We got to quarantine that for a few days until we touch those bags." But you just can't be careful enough, I don't think. And um, the compost will be great because our oldest is pretty good at gardening. He's already started potatoes. We have tomatoes. Yes, it rained every time. Yep. Light therapy. Oh, yeah. You should talk about that tomorrow because of weather and stuff in her area. And she shared about it in her last live. Um, Yeah, we get a little bit of sunshine, I think just enough, and Poco goes out and he lays in the sun whenever, it peaks out for a little while. He definitely needs it. Hi, I'm on a live stream. It's fine, you can come in. No. Can you guys hear me? I'm assuming you can hear me, you're answering my questions. I mean, it's just through the computer. My high schooler stole my microphone because now he's doing podcasts with his friends. Yes, 2 more days of rain than Friday. Yes. Yay. That'll be great. Um, yeah. So sunshine's important. We're making sure everyone goes out and walks, has a little contact with the outside. My boys would be tempted to, you know, our youngest wants nothing to do with being inside, but because he went to camp with our church and we don't know what he has, so we don't want him to give it to any of his friends. We told him 2 weeks. So he's winding down that time. He'll be out with his friends again soon. And just outside. He's an outside kind of a guy, but with this, he's inside all day and they just get sucked in by that computer. Oh, Colorado. Now, did I saw someone I think today, Kimberly in Colorado did you guys have snow? Yes, it is Carolyn. Is it Carolyn or Caroline? I'm guessing Carolyn because it's a Y. I always wonder that. And then when I, hear someone's name is Sarah, it's like, is it Sarah with an H or no H? Not that that one changes your pronunciation, but yeah, I have tons of pots and now we have the compost, so we'll get the garden going. He's growing potatoes and some tomatoes. He has seeds. I don't even know. I think lettuce, onions. I know he's growing onions. And I just got out a few pots for him to grow some other stuff. There was snow. Okay, but it was north. Yeah, that's a beautiful state. I always think, when we talk about moving the states, I think of, and I've never even been to Oregon, but I've seen so many pictures and videos. I want to visit Oregon. I like the rain. Like weather-wise, mood-wise is just kind of cramping my style right now with gardening. So I think of Washington, but I really like Utah and Colorado. And yeah, I just like them. Those are pretty states. Weather in Colorado is all over the place. Vanessa, have you planted any pumpkins? I haven't. So I think that's a sort of a May to June. I mean, I have before. We don't have any planted right now. I agree, Lala. I think a lot of people are going to be gardening. Yes, like the Victory Gardens. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah. He wanted to know if he had to give me my mic back. At one point today, I walked into his room and he's got everything set up and they're doing a podcast and he's got all his panel on. He's got this art device that's like a laptop kind of thing set up. And I see all these people on panel with him and he's here leading the podcast and he's leaning back in his chair holding the stand of my microphone. Just was like, what are you doing? But I only really use that for voiceovering, and I haven't done a lot of that lately. I did record a Dollar Tree video today that you guys will see tomorrow. And it's a haul that's been sitting in my garage for a year. Okay, Carolyn, not Caroline. Yeah, it's all my favorite stuff from Dollar Tree, and it's kind of in the way now that we're trying to, you know, have supplies delivered to our garage and quarantining them. That's what I was going to tell you guys. I lost my train of thought. We have this thing from IKEA that's like a dresser with the mesh drawers that pulls out, and we used that in our room when we were painting our dresser. And now our room is finished, so I moved it back out to the garage. And what we're doing is, as the new groceries come in, if, when, whatever, we put them in that so they can just simmer for a while. Make sure, pray over them. And it's been great because it's a tower. So we've got like potatoes, air out. Yeah, quarantine. We quarantined the bananas. The kids are so excited. The bananas come out of quarantine tonight. I did put on gloves and open the bananas like this onto a plate so that they could have some. And so, yeah, it's been a really great thing to have on hand because, I'll empty that tonight and then we'll see what we get. I mean, we ordered, just tried to order just one of everything that we would normally buy at Costco. We'll see. Maybe that I should do a video on it just to show you guys like versus what I order versus what you actually end up with, because Walmart makes substitutions and stuff. Okay, so Carolyn, we had an interesting pumpkin experience. So the summer before last, we were going to transform this plot of dirt that we have into Auntie Cuckoo's pumpkin garden. I just wanted like all these pumpkins. Well, that was something we never got to it. It was a busy year. We just didn't get to it. But my husband planted in a different bed what he thought were watermelon. And watermelon and pumpkins look a whole lot alike. And you got to fertilize them. So they fertilized and everything. And they're growing. They look like really cute little organic watermelons. And they got to a point where we thought, it's probably time to cut these up. So he brought them in. It was a summer day. I want to say like August. He cuts into them. And the seeds, mind you, packaged said watermelon. Cuts into them and they're pumpkins. So we planted pumpkins without knowing it. We thought they were watermelons. They turned out to be pumpkins. So I should probably, now that they've got some good composted soil, we should probably do that. Thank you. I love my room now. I mean, I just feel like it's hard to make, to me, it's last on the list because no one really sees my room. I mean, but it worked out time-wise really well because my husband's having meetings every day with his team and it looks good behind him. So thank you. I love it. It is calming. Try not to do a whole lot because it's a small room. So I bought 3 clocks. You guys remember I bought 3 clocks for my hall, for my room, and I was going to decide which one. Not one of them. Yeah, bananas. The things we took for granted, right? But not one of those clocks fit. So I wanted it on the wall where my husband's desk is to the right and the door is over here, above our bathroom, because when I wake up, then I can see the clock. So I just was completely off on sizing. So all 3 of them are in my garage. Yeah. I thought for sure the one from Walmart would fit because it was the smallest. I was completely wrong when it came to the size of those. I like the Walmart one, especially I think with what else I have going on in there. I think it looks the best because, our walls are white. I want them to remain white. They're easy to clean. A magic eraser, and you're not taking off paint. And I just think it kind of pops with the wood and the black. And my husband appreciates it because our duvet cover was floral. It was neutral, but it was still floral. We've always joked about that. When we first got married, I wanted sort of a lavender bedroom, and he was like, nope. And he really doesn't care what I do decor-wise. He's very supportive and tolerant, but that was the one thing he was like, no, I don't want a purple bedspread. It's like, okay, I can get that. All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here at 6 o'clock, and we're going to go on our walk before it gets too dark and cold. And then we'll figure out dinner. Might be fish sticks, my pumpkins, my water pumpkins. But I will try and do more of these just to chat and check in and say hey to everyone. You're welcome, Jen. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, Kimberly. I hope so. I mean, you got to talk about it without being overly negative. It's not going to help anyone. And we're all in this boat together. Like Lala would say, just keep rowing. So you guys take care. Have a good night. And I will try to do this more regularly if I can on a time that works with my family schedule when school's over and stuff, so that we can look forward to some time together to chat. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you. Have a good one.